Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. It's Thursday, July 29th, 2021. I'm Jeremy Crosby, back in the TF studios with Andrew Bamlett at the Realm. Bamlett, you can talk on your microphone, right?
At the Realm, huh?
At the Realm.
At the helm, I think is the word you're looking for.
No, Jeremyism. Jeremyism.
Okay, fine.
Helm.
Got it.
Fine. Fine. What did I tell Scott yesterday? Too many torches in the fire, and he, of course, corrected me and said too many irons in the fire. I said, what is wrong with torches in the fire? It sounds...
You like to combine two sayings all the time. You put them together.
It's a true statement.
It's okay.
It's all right.
We help correct you.
All the time.
We try.
All the time. And yet you're the ones who put me out here and do this every day. I don't get it.
It's your show. Can't take
it's
it
your
over.
show. No, it's our show.
Oh.
It's our show here. And we have a great hour show today. We'll be checking in with Fitchburg EMS. They do special event coverage out at Alliant Energy Center. And you might be asking yourself, and the question I asked too, aren't we in Fitchburg? Yeah, they'll break that down for you on the coverage that they do provide, which is pretty cool. Plus, we'll get some safety tips out of Jeff Doslick for that. And then we're checking in with the Fitchburg Historical Society as they continue their coverage. Catherine will be interviewing today, Blackhawk Church. And Pastor Dan will be on today talking about how COVID affected their church as she interviews different local businesses affected by COVID. Last year, Fact TV, she's done a lot of businesses here, including Fact TV, so we'll be excited to share that with you coming up. But first, let's get in a few headlines for the day before we get into those. We'll start with the police chief finalists have been announced. I want to remind you to come out. You can come out to the public reception. It's going to be at the IUPAT Training Center, 5375 King James Way on Tuesday, August 3rd. Starts at 6:30 p.m. If you can't make it, you can watch it live right here on Fact TV on our community channel, F2. We'll be broadcasting that live for you, so you can tune in for that and hear from all the candidates. All right, we're turning our attention to, it's already here. It's coming up fast. The 2021 Agora Art Fair. Yes, it returns. So excited for this. Over 100 Wisconsin artists will be showcased in the 13th annual Agora Art Fair. Set aimed in the stunning architect of Agora and the natural prairie landscape of the South Central Wisconsin. Local and regional artists in every medium will be featured, including painting, ceramics, jewelry, photography, glass, metal, woodwork, mixed media, fiber. What's fiber in sculpture? Fiber and sculpture. Clothes. No, well, that makes sense. Somehow I was thinking of a different thing, but that's good to know. The event will feature, everybody's like, how do you not know that, dude? All right, the event will feature live music throughout the day, local food, drinks, and so much more. So come on out, set the date here, Saturday, August 21st, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's a rain or shine event, free to attend. So stop on by. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the more interesting ones to shoot. I mean, we go out and cover a lot of different events, but filming that one's a lot of fun just to see all the different art that is out there. So stop on out, and glad to have that event. Plus this one too. Andrew and I, this is like made for you and I, buddy. I'm just saying. And definitely all the kiddos. Kids Building Wisconsin returns as well this summer. Kids Building Wisconsin is a fun, free event with focus on getting kids interested in numerous exciting careers available in the construction industry. Set the calendar on this one, Saturday, September 11th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at McKee Farms Park. Yes, returning to McKee Farms Park. And you can learn more about this and register in advance if you'd like. That's through the Kids Building Wisconsin website. Also returning, the Midwest Gypsy Swing Fest, a two-day event returning September 17th and 18th. You can access all the excitement at the MidwestGypsySwingFest.com on their Facebook page and find out all of the great bands that will be out there for this event. And it's free admission, and it's on Adams Road here in Fitchburg, 5927 Adams Road. Come on out. It's kind of a hidden gem and a hidden good concert series, if you will, happening. So stop out for that event. A lot of events coming back. So excited for that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up next, we check in with Fitchburg EMS on special event coverage. Sex right here on Talking Fitchburg.
It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus, so follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. Use a delivery service for essential items like food and medicine. If you must make essential trips, stay 6 feet apart from other people. Wear a cloth face covering and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Hey, boss. Okay.
Said I'm fine.
Me to bed, see you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. Where you at? Underlay in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Bob.
You know you can talk to me.
Yeah.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from, well, I don't think it's his office. It's somewhere out there in the world. Jeff Doslick from Fitchburg EMS. Jeff, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Jeff, where are you?
So I'm at the Alliant Energy Center this week for the CrossFit Games, sitting in I think we call it the Operations Center. So they're staffing it with sheriff's departments, Alliant Energy Center staff, and EMS. Our department is providing EMS coverage on the grounds for patrons that come in to watch the games. We have 2 bike medics out here, and then we also have a bike golf cart team out here as well.
Fantastic. Why do we provide? So I think the first question is, why are we out there? Like, aren't we like Fitzrona?
We are Fitzrona, yes. So we're contracted with the Alliant Energy Center. When they have events out here that may require a bike team or a golf cart team, rather large events, they've contracted with Fitzrona to provide that service. The city of Madison, since it is technically in their fire district, the city of Madison would then come in and provide transport to the hospital if that's needed. We're trying to work on a collaboration with the city and with Fitzrona, because at some point, because this was in the town of Madison, at some point the city will take over they'll take over this part of the grounds, but we'll take over part of the other town of Madison area, and Fitchburg will. So we were contracted to do some of the standbys out here this year to kind of do that transition from the town of Madison.
Yeah, it's a cool opportunity. And you guys have done quite a few events out there. Could you name a couple of those, Jeff, that you have helped out with?
Yeah, so this would be our second big event. So we sat out here pretty much most of the summer when they were doing COVID testing out here. And then when they started doing vaccinations, we were contracted to sit out here as well. And then just a couple of weeks ago, we did the county fair. And then we're out here for the CrossFit Games this week. And a couple of other concert standbys that are coming up. We'll have medical staff out here to provide first aid as well.
So because of the way the department's set up, because we have bike medics and that sort of thing, does that make it easier for us to be contractable, if you will, or offer those services because we have some of those different resources?
Yeah, I definitely think that that's helped quite a bit. That ability to put a special events team together. The bike medics team, thank you. The bike medic team has been, we've had it for a couple of years, I think 8 or 10 maybe. They do a lot. In the past, it's been out at Epic during user group. We do a lot of little standbys around the area. We put a team, sometimes we put a team together for some of the big races that come through town. But we're really excited to be partners with the Alliant Energy Center in doing this. I think it provides a great service. Certainly gives our paramedics another opportunity to do something different than staff a 911 ambulance. It's fun.
It is, yeah. I was gonna say it takes you out of the realm and get to do something fun. And with the CrossFit games happening this week, Jeff, as far as responses go, it's been a little bit hot this week. But what do you prepare yourselves for this week?
Yeah, so the last couple of days, that's really been the biggest concern is the weather, the heat. The CrossFit games themselves have a medical team that's probably second to none in the country. So they take care of the athletes, and that's their responsibility, as well as the volunteer staff that come here to help with CrossFit. Our responsibility is to take care of everyone else. So we're really particular. We've really been paying a lot of attention to the heat-related injuries. We've had a few cuts and scrapes type stuff. Yesterday, we had, I think, 3 or 4 total responses throughout the whole day. This afternoon, we'll prepare for the heat and make sure that our medics are watching the patrons for any heat exhaustion or heat-related emergencies.
Yeah, maybe this is a good transition for any events that you're out there covering and stuff. Some safety tips, Jeff. What would you provide if you're heading out to any of these great summer events, and whether it's heat or you're going to a concert and just staying safe? What would you recommend that you have identification on you and those little things to be ready to go in case there is a medical emergency?
Yeah, sure. The first thing I would say is, especially if you plan on coming out here to the CrossFit Games, is just make sure you're prepared for especially today. It's going to get a little bit cooler at the end of the week, but just making sure that you are prepared for heat related emergencies, staying hydrated. There's plenty of water stations from, I think Yeti has water stations around the area to fill up water bottles. There's plenty of areas to catch some shade, making sure you wear sunscreen, making sure you have anything like, if you're out at night, bite protection for mosquitoes and bugs and things like that. Make sure you know where your car is parked so that Kyle doesn't have to send a golf cart to go find your car somewhere in the middle of the parking lot. And then the other thing we don't really talk about this too often, but if you're going to come out to the games, don't bring your pet and leave them in the car. Make sure that's just be kind of smart about some of that stuff. It's fun to come out here, and sometimes you don't have, somebody to take care of your animal. So just that kind of stuff, identification, cell phone numbers, emergency contacts in case something happens, and we can try to call somebody. Sheriff's Department's got a presence out here. The staff out here at Lion Energy Center is roaming around the area, so there's plenty of help if needed. But just make sure you take those precautions.
All right, Jeff. Well, I appreciate your time. I know you're busy out there, but thanks for fitting us in. And, thank you for what you're doing out there. You guys stay safe, and we'll check in with you real soon.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
You bet. Jeff Doslick, Fitchburg EMS Deputy Chief and Deputy Chief of the Lion Energy Center.
No, I don't want that title. That's Kyle's title.
Kyle, a medic there on Fitzrona, so make sure we put that out there.
No, all right. He's the operations. Going to the operation.
He's the operation. I was thinking it was your other Kyle. Okay.
We got you.
All right. Thank you, Doslick.
Yep, you bet. Take care.
We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Pittsburgh.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays. We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Well, this is Catherine Schneider from the Fitchburg Historical Society, and we are continuing with our series of interviews with community leaders in Fitchburg, focusing on how COVID really impacted the Fitchburg community over this last year and plus months now. So we have today with us Pastor Daniel Owen from the Black Hawk Church here in Fitchburg, and we thank him so much for his time this morning and being with us for this interview. So welcome, Pastor Daniel.
Yeah, Catherine, it's good to be with you.
Thank you. First question, I guess, is just to ask you about Black Hawk Church, and maybe if you can give us a little bit of background on Black Hawk Church and your role there.
Yeah, for sure. So Black Hawk Church is one church, but we have 3 different campuses, and we have a campus downtown, actually in the upper house. We have a campus in Middleton off of Brader Way, and we have the campus here in Fitchburg. And so we've been at church for over 30 something years. And, we've been a part of Madison and love this city and love being a part of this community. And the reason why we have campuses is because we believe it's important to be local and to be in the neighborhood that you care about. So we don't want people driving 40, an hour away from their homes to come to church. We want to be in their neighborhood. So that's why we have campuses, so that we can do things locally and care about the local community.
Great, wonderful. And Black Hawk has been, actually, your campus there in Fitchburg is new, isn't it? Your newest campus. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, actually, we've been in Fitchburg for over, I guess it'll be it'll be 9 years soon. We started in the school, Savannah Oaks Middle School. We actually met there for 7 years before we moved into this new building. And so I've been the lead pastor here for, I guess, going on 8 years, or 7 years there. So it's been, great. And so we've been here a long time and built relationships with Leopold and other organizations like Badger Prairie Needs Network and other things in the community, and have enjoyed times at McKee Farms and different outings that we've been able to host here in Fitchburg. So yeah, we've been here for a little while, and it's a great community. It's a growing community, isn't it, Catherine? I feel like every time I'm driving around, it's just like, wow, it's just getting bigger and expanding in all sorts of directions. So
indeed, it is a vibrant community. Well, let's maybe turn our attention to COVID, and that virus, of course, became widespread in Wisconsin in about March of last year in 2020. What was your initial response there at Fitchburg Black Hawk Church? And then can you describe the steps you took to keep your congregation safe?
Yeah. So, first off, to everyone watching and listening to this, obviously the pandemic has been a challenging thing, very hard. There's been a lot that's happened with families and things we don't even know about. So, all of us have kind of been in that together, and hope everyone is doing well right now. So when it first happened for us, I think it was early March, we went ahead and shut down our services because we obviously, you can see behind me, we have a large gathering space, which is great on Sundays, but it's not great for the things we've been going through for the past year. And so we knew the safest thing was for us to kind of close the doors, in the sense we're trying to have some sort of large gatherings. And then, like many of us and many organizations, we just continued to assess what is the right thing to do. How do we love the city well? How do we love our people well? And how do we go about this? And so, I think maybe you're like this, Catherine. I mean, I thought, it might be a month, 2 months, I didn't think about it a ton, but I didn't think it was going to be a year and 3 months before we opened again. And so, we thought the right thing was to, make sure and kind of close the services because we want people to be safe and remain healthy, and do our part too, because we have a lot of people. So when a lot of people come here and gather, we don't want that to be any sort of catalyst for more people getting sick. So that's our response, was honestly to kind of shut things down real quick and make sure to take care of our people really well in doing that. And so we have an online service that we had already had going, but we went ahead and made that a little more robust. Typically it had mostly the messages, but we wanted to include, obviously song and singing and worship and some other parts, forms of worship that we practice. And so we were able to do that online pretty quickly. But I will say, it took a lot of hands and a lot of work from a lot of people to get that done. So, we started that pretty much right away. So we shut down. I think it might've been March 8th, maybe. I think it was March 8th. And then I think we were right online on the 15th. And so we actually remained online all the way through April of this year. And part of that is because, like I said, we just wanted to be really careful and make sure that we were, just being really considerate of our people, but also considerate of the city and where we're at and how we're ready for that. So that's what we did.
And where did you look for maybe your guidelines in helping you know how to proceed? Where was your guidance coming from?
Yeah, so we put together a task force, a kind of a COVID task force of team members who would basically comb through the CDC and what the government recommendations were, what the CDC recommendations were, what Dane County was recommending. They would kind of comb through all of that material. And then we would basically, we're in Dane County. So whatever Dane County says, like, we want to follow that and, be a support to the city and to the city officials in any ways that we can. So some of it was really done for us because they really put those guidelines down. So we just had to, navigate some of the nuances of things that maybe weren't covered in those documents. But for the most part, we just followed what, the CDC in Dane County was asking. So.
Great. So could you give us some examples of maybe what changed at Blackhawk? I know besides closing down your services, which is
Sure.
major, of course, and then going online with your services, and how great that you could do that so quickly and
Sure.
make it more robust, as you said. So maybe some examples of maybe what else changed for Blackhawk, and then what remained the same during this time. And then any other parts that technology played in your church community.
Sure. So, the things that stayed the same is that on Sundays we had services and they were just online. So we had digital church, and so that's where that went. We had many people who were already meeting in what we call life groups, or kind of groups that are smaller, where they get to know each other really well. There's a sense of belonging there, but there's also a chance to discuss what they're learning and how they're growing and ask questions. We want to be a culture where people can ask questions and explore their faith no matter where they're at. So we had these groups that were going. Now those groups, many of those groups maintained and continued. Actually, we ended up getting more groups because people wanted some form of connection. I would say, almost all of them went online. Which is fine. They started using Zoom. So that's how technology became a huge asset to what we were doing. And then as things started, as the, kind of COVID season started changing a little bit with regulations coming down, some of the groups got back together and started meeting outside. Some started, being able to practice the right social distancing and for safety and everything. So, but our groups came together. We had Sunday services. Those are the things that stayed the same. Now, some of the things that changed were like my job and many of my team's jobs. And so, we have a Blackhawk Kids. We have a huge part of our church is dedicated to kids, and we love kids. We love them being a part of everything we do here at Blackhawk. And so, our kids person was like, wow, I don't have kids programming anymore. What do I do? And she, which was awesome, she was also really good at communication. She switched over to kind of doing more social media communications. We started making videos and she started doing that. the team and myself, we started making phone calls to our members, and we kind of kept that up at least for some time into the season, because we wanted to just check on them, see how they're doing. And so we went from kind of running a program or kind of doing things on a particular location to calling people and trying to reach out and make sure how they're doing and that they're doing well, which was great. I really got to have some good conversations. I got to know that there were some people who were going through some really hard things, and we as a team were able to come around them, love and support and care for them in the ways that we could. Otherwise, if we weren't doing that, or we didn't know, then you just can't simply support. And so that was just a really important thing that we tried to do in that season. And so those are some of the things that changed. Our jobs all kind of changed, to be quite honest. But we went back to some things of making sure that we were building those relationships and caring for people well. That's what matters. That's what really matters. And so the team here at Fitchburg, as well as, even Blackhawk Church itself, we really tried to move towards knowing how people are doing and making sure that we're reaching out and building those kind of support systems for the people who may need more help.
All right, we're going to cut in on that part. We have the full interview. We're going to post it up online on our Facebook and YouTube page, so you can check that out. And we appreciate Catherine and Pastor Dan's time here with that great interview. All right, we're going to take a quick break, wrap up the show next. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for the day. I want to thank Catherine again for helping us out with the interview. You can check that full interview online at our Facebook page and YouTube page, which you can see on the screen. Have a great day, everybody. See you back here tomorrow.